Greetings. This is a mini episode of the Golden Phoenix podcast with your host GP. So sit down and catch your breath for a few minutes while we talk about our current topic. Hello. And in this episode, we're talking about a few things. Only one thing. We're talking about one thing. In this mini-sode, we're talking about if humans suddenly had powers versus if humans always had powers. Now, if humans suddenly had powers, just randomly right the fuck now. Alright, maybe not. Okay. Anywho, if humans suddenly had powers now, I'd have to say that it'd be complete fucking chaos. It'd be complete chaos from people dying, from not knowing how to use the powers. Oh, well, hold on. Pause. Let me go back. Before I talk about, just saying powers, no telepathy and no reality warping. Reality warping, very simple. We don't want a random kid or a person or whatever. Like, even if it was like the X-Men and people just got their powers when they turned, well, no, take it back. If everybody suddenly got powers, because it'd be some people that doing too much. Let me start all over. If humans suddenly have powers, some people would have powers, some people would not. Some people would have multiple powers. Some people would have mundane powers. Some people would have super strength. Some people would just have enhanced strength. Now, there's a difference. Super strength, you can lift like 10 tons. Enhanced strength is like you being able to outdo an Olympian. You'd have things like that. You'd have people that have just a slightly longer lifespan. Slightly longer. They live to like 200 or maybe 250. Or you have people who have the extreme of that. Immortality. Invulnerability. Instead of being able to slightly regenerate faster, just heal up a little faster, they'll have an actual healing factor. Or they'll have invulnerability. Or immortality plus invulnerability. It should be plus invulnerability plus immortality. That'd be a fucking nightmare, to be honest. It'd be a fucking nightmare. But yeah, it'd be complete fucking chaos. Because not only not only would like people's powers, like let's say you were pyrokinetic, you can make fire with your mind or make explosions with your mind. You would literally just fucking lose. You wouldn't know what the fuck was happening if it suddenly just happened now. You would literally lose control and just have explosions popping off everywhere. People be burning around you and you're trying to figure out why. And then shit, you might catch on fire because you're not goddamn fireproof. So yeah, no, that'd be a bad idea. So yeah, it'd be complete fucking chaos. And then let's say you're like using super strength. You're doing something mundane, and because you know how your body works, like it's second nature when you're using your strength in everyday activities. Like if you have to get up and get a bottle of water or get something to drink or make something to eat or pick your kid up, you know what I'm saying? All of a sudden you have super fucking strength. You're gonna leap out the chair. You're gonna rip the handle off your fridge, throw the glass or a bottle of water across the damn room, yeet your kid onto the fucking ceiling. Or if you don't yeet the glass, you're gonna crush it. So yeah. And the fact about another hint of why telepathy wouldn't work going back to telepathy, why it wouldn't work and why it's not allowed. Well, because it wouldn't work. It's not allowed because it wouldn't work. Not exactly. It would work in a way that if anything, if you have since thoughts are electrical, basically chemical reactions, you'd have to like have precise control of the neurons in somebody's head just to get them to move. Like the amount of concentration you would have to control the neurons just to get somebody to move or do something would be insane, because we don't really know how exactly, first of all, how thoughts form or how your brain processes movement, because it doesn't take a lot of electricity to power the brain, but it does all these complex things, which is the miracle of the brain, and which is why it's so confusing, and why telepathy would be a strain. Trying to literally control someone's actions would be a goddamn nightmare. You'd make a mistake and kill them before you actually make a mistake and get them to walk. And like I said, when you're normal without super strength, you automatically know how much strength you need to get up out the chair and get yourself a glass of water, pick up your kid, yada yada yada. But with telepathy, you would literally have to control not only the muscle movements like a puppet, you'd have to control the strength that person has, and you don't know how strong that person is. So it'd be literally impossible. You'd have to concentrate so hard to move this meat puppet that you have control of. And so it'd be basically just no point. Now there are instances where you can use, because they have the devices where they put on deaf people and they give them the ability to hear again. Now that is the thing. You could turn off some of the senses. Now, the only way you would be able to do that, I'm pretty sure you could Google it, but you'd have to know exactly where that person, exactly where in the brain, how you could exactly where in the brain does what, you know what I'm saying? So if you fuck up, you done stop that person's heart or something, or you trying to figure out why their legs aren't moving and you got their heart all messed up. I mean, you got their not heart, you got their lungs messed up and they're not breathing. So yeah, there are things like that. Those are just the simple individual consequences. Let's not even get to the group consequences, because people are still racist and nationalist and sexist and whatever. So you have groups of extremists who, I guess through some means, realized that they had powers and somehow survived the initial chaos, got together and started eliminating people. You'd see people flying over here blasting people with their laser eyes just because they're certain this, that, and whatever. And you're like, what the fuck? So yeah. And then, not to mention, if we eventually got all that under control and eventually popped back into society for somehow, you would have the people who, let's say you have road rage, and you're in a car and you have to, you're telekinetic. You fucking, and somebody cuts you off, and you just fling their car to the other side of the freeway, causing a multi-car accident. That's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you'd have shit like that. But yeah, yeah, it'd be complete and utter fucking chaos. Like, let's say, let's go over some pros and cons with powers. There's just slightly pros and cons. Like, let's say you had invulnerability. Invulnerability. You are impervious to all harm and or danger. So basically, you have an instant healing factor. I'd like to say that. So if somebody with super strength cracked your, somebody with super strength punched you into a fucking mountain,
Where'd you come from?
then you punched you into a mountain and you flew into a hole that collapsed, you wouldn't have the strength to get out of that hole. So you basically lose weight until you were too weak to get out of that hole because you're not strong enough to move the rocks. Unless you somehow, through some miracle, either wedged your way out or something along those lines. So yeah, you pretty much be stuck. Or if you got dropped into a volcano, you know what I'm saying? Somebody captured you and they're like, haha, let's see how invulnerable you are. Not only would you be experimented on by scientists, just to see how invulnerable you are. Well, maybe not scientists now. Maybe not now, because I don't know. Honestly, people stopped mass eugenics on a public scale back in probably the 70s, maybe. But who knows if they're still doing it now, to be honest with you. So if you get captured by some scientists and they want to try out and figure out how invulnerable you are, you know, they dump you in a volcano, that means you're constantly burning. You are constantly burning alive because your invulnerability won't let you die. No, wait. Or would you? Or would you die because you ran out of air? You're vulnerable to damage. I don't know. That's a good question. That is a good question. I know with Wolverine's healing factor, he can drown, so that would kill him like that. But yeah, he can drown, so that would kill him. But if he had yeah, I don't know. Invulnerable, impervious to damage. I don't know. I guess you'd be able to drown, but if somebody pulled you back up, you just come back to life eventually. Yeah, I guess once you got out of harm's way, you would eventually come back to life. So it'd be horrible. You'd be conscious, but you would like just be stuck in like this limbo where you couldn't get out of the pain because your body's so damaged, but you couldn't you couldn't help yourself because you were in such pain and your body just kind of just put you in a rest mode like you do a laptop or a computer, or your PS4. I don't know. That is interesting. Interesting. Immortality, not the same as invulnerability. Immortality, yeah, if you get hit, you're damaged. If somebody stabs you with a knife, you're gonna stab, but as soon as they pull the knife out, it's gonna be like, and that's it. You can't drown. Or can you? Damn, that proves it. I don't know. That is a good point. I don't know. Can you drown if you're invulnerable? I mean, if you have immortality. I mean, invulnerability, you die of old age. And you could possibly die of disease. I don't know, man. I think you could. Okay, I think with invulnerability you can die by drowning. I think. I don't know, man. I don't know. I really don't. But with immortality, no. Yeah. Immortality with no healing factor. Well, not immortality with no healing factor. With immortality, you have a constant healing factor. So if you got an immortality at 20, and then at 50, somebody's like, "Hey, I haven't seen you in about 10 years. Yeah, what's going on? You haven't looked like you have an AIDS today." And they're like, "Oh, yeah, I have an AIDS today." It also begs the question, like, does your body stuck at? Well, I guess it's kind of like, you know, how you have like 10-year-old vampires and they trick people into like, you know, into being their next victim because they're like, "Oh, cute little kid," and it's just like, "Gotcha, bitch." So you know, finally, and I guess it'll kind of suck though, immortality, just for the fact that like because you're stuck at that age. Because so if you, like, you know, as a guy, like, you didn't have like the greatest facial hair at 20, you're stuck with that shitty facial hair, or you just gotta constantly shave or constantly keep whatever little hair that you can, because the rest of the hair is not gonna come in until, you know, you age up technically. So unless you ingest yourself with some hormones, you're gonna be stuck with a little baby face. Well, it's not bad, but it's not good either. Interesting. Also, I like to do on Inu. If I get too like confused about that, I'm still stuck on that drowning thing because that is confusing to me. Like, how in the hell would you kill somebody? Oh well. Anywho, super speed and super strength. Let's see. Super strength, good, because you can now, I don't know, lift a lot of heavy shit. Cons. Yeah, like I said, you have to control your strength now. Hey, everything you, like Superman said when he was fighting Darkseid in Justice League, in the Justice League cartoon, you'll feel like you live in a world made of cardboard, taking care not to hurt anything or anyone. So basically, yeah, you'd be pretty much kind of like, oh shit, hey, you know. So if you're not used to controlling your strength, or you get angry and make a mistake and dent something, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh shit. I don't know. And besides the fact that you probably, you would never know your upper limit. You would not know your upper limit because your upper limit would not be able to handle you lifting it. Like, let's say somebody tried to get you to lift that evergreen ship out the canal. You wouldn't be able to do it because all the point of the ship would be only resting on 2 points of gravity, your 2 hands. So the ship would literally just dent around your hand, and you would just be lifting that one little part, and you would not be able to lift it unless it was somehow so structurally sound that you would be suddenly, right? That's the only way. It was just like so structurally sound that the gravity around it would be able to, you know, control itself. You would not be able to lift it really anything more than probably a car or something, you know. Like, it'd be cool for, you know, a few rescue missions and shit, but you wouldn't do any crazy feats of strength You could probably lift a tree. That wouldn't break on you. But I don't think you'd be able to, you know, test like your upper limit. Like, oh, my upper limit is 100 tons. No, your upper limit is whatever, you know, whatever gravity tells you your upper limit is. Because if you get too big, you can't lift it. Well, because if it gets too big, then you can't lift it. Not you. Yeah, anywho, super speed. That's pretty much death. If you go over a certain speed, I say if you go over 50 miles an hour, that's pretty much death. I don't know the math behind it, but if you going faster, then your reflexes won't help. Because first of all, if you run into somebody or something, you kill yourself or somebody, or and then let's say you could go at the speed of like breaking the sound barrier. It'd be like Matrix 2 when Neo is trying to fly and save Trinity, and you have all that shit flying behind him and all the glass is breaking. It literally would be just like that. And the only reason that it doesn't happen with, say, the Flash is because of the Speed Force. And for the most part, he doesn't run that fast most of the time. But yeah, the Speed Force protects him and everybody around him from the literal force of him speeding. So yeah, no, yeah, that wouldn't work. Yeah, it'd be pretty much limited to like I say at most probably like 100 miles an hour. Let me see. But yeah, it'd be pretty chaotic. Now for the other side of the coin, I know we talked a lot about the first part, but the other side of the coin is pretty simple, to be honest. The other side of the coin is pretty much just, if like, let's say, ever since humans came into existence, you know, with all the evolution and shit, it'd be pretty much the same. You pretty much still have racist people, but you know, they'd be more likely to get their head blown off with somebody shooting laser beam out their eyes. You know? So yeah. I mean, you pretty much have the same thing that you would already have. Except for just a little different. You know, wars be fought a little different. You still have guns because, you know, people scared of people that born without powers are going to be scared of people born with powers. So yeah, that wouldn't work. But yeah, it'd be pretty much the same. You know, you'd have like special schools, just like the X-Men, Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters. You literally have schools like that, you know, teaching you how to control your strength, you know, how to deal with the immortality crisis. Be like, I've been living on this planet for 50 years. And, you know, you retired from your first job, literally your first job out of anything else you could do. You could literally go live in the woods and be a shaman and then come back. And like you live to be an electrician for 50 years, get retirement, die, and then live in another quote unquote die, and then live in the woods as a shaman with all the money that you done, you know what I'm saying, accumulated, or you know, if you spent it all, fuck it, just live in the woods. It's not like you can die anyways, and then come back after another 50 years after living as a shaman and, I don't know, shit, be a teacher, be a fucking, you could literally run, well, you probably wouldn't be able to run for president, but yeah, you could literally live all around the planet and just experience everything, like thoroughly experience the world. Like, for this 50 years, I lived in the United States, and I guess for the next 50, I'll live in China, and the next 50 after that, I'll live in Africa. Like, I'll live in Zimbabwe. I gotta stop saying Africa because Africa is a continent, not a country. Not a just singular country. It is a continent with many countries. I'll go live in Zimbabwe. But yeah, you could literally just live wherever you want and experience life literally to the fullest. To the fucking fullest. The only problem is, you know, outliving all your relatives. That immortality complex that I was watching a clip of Justice League Unlimited where Amazo, he literally had immortality and he was like, what is my fucking purpose? I live forever. What am I supposed to do? What is my purpose for fucking eternity? And Lex Luthor was like, look, man, life is full of choices. We all make our own. So go out there and make your own purpose. Make your own choices. And then he left. I'm like, huh, well, there you go. You make your own choices. He's literally told him to go out there and explore. Explore the earth. Watch the earth evolve. And that's pretty much what you can do. You know, watch the earth evolve. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for this mini episode. And see you on the next one. Or, you know, see you on the full one anyways. This, just so you know, this can be found on Spotify if you want to watch the previous episodes. Well, yeah, listen to the previous episodes. You can be found on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Castbox. I might do Apple Podcasts. I might. I don't want to, but I might. Just look out for it. All right. I'm pretty sure I'm losing some type of audience for not doing this, but yeah, look out for that. Thanks for listening.